Good evening to all of you, my dear students. So this is Suman Acharya, and once again we are going to make today week the explanation of the first chapter of Gift Library book, and the name of the chapter is Last Lesson. And all of you know that it's written by Alphonse Daudet, and the setting of the text is France, and we will see in a very short way how to remember all these things in a nutshell. Now, last lesson written by Alphonse Daudet, and this is my YouTube channel. All of you can subscribe and get share so that you can get a daily update of these topics and different topics. Now, before we start the text, we have to keep some main value points, main ideas. So, number one, that we can expect this year some important question. So these are the main ideas and the value points from this text, and these are the probable question. So these are the list of the questions, and these are the value points. So you can write the answers of these questions from the value point or the main points, right? So all of you have read the last lesson, and it is a story. All of you know that this is a story of M. Hamel, a French teacher, and he was very strict and. He was very sincere, dedicated, passionate teacher. The two main things that we can see inside in Handel, first of all, he was a very dedicated person in teaching field as well as very disciplined. With that, he was a patriotic in nature, right? So the story of France is very different, and it's a very simple boy like we all once upon a time. Now France didn't like to go to school. The reason is that M. Hamel gives a lot of stuff, lot of works to that person, and I know France and his friends, they didn't love all these things by their everyday tasks, and this is the way that they, hate their homeworks, participants, etc., etc. Now, when M. Hamel is entering in the school, it was the last day of and the last day of M. Hamel. On the last day, M. Hamel is going to retire, and you know very well that why he is going to leave the school. The reason is that Alsace and Lorraine were the two provinces of France which were occupied by the Germans, right? So the German soldiers actually occupied these places, and due to that, there is no way to teach French language in these schools. So what happened? M. Hamel started to leave the school. And this day was very emotional. The last lesson is a very emotional text, and it includes the writer's emotion that when something is going to get lost, and when you realize that it was your opportunity to learn, to know something, you really miss it, right? So with all these feelings, with all the emotions, we are going to start the text. Before you come into the text or enter into the important question, because I feel this year this text might be important, because if you analyze the last 3 years question, except 2023, there was not such questions that you can see in your board examination from last lesson. So you can expect the question from here. Now, I have made the value points which are necessary when you are writing an answer for the CBSE examination, and this is the probable questions, right? Now, we have the value points. First value point is France reluctant to go to school. The meaning of reluctant is not willing, or you can say unwilling. Was often late to school. Like other boys, Franz didn't like to go to school. Instead of that, he used to collect the birds' eggs, fishing, and etc. etc. Afraid of being scolded by the teacher. So as you know that M. Hamel was a very strict teacher, and he checks everyday performances of the students. So definitely your friends was not so serious at that time. Had not learned the rules of participles. So it is the home task that M. Hamel gave to them, and he didn't cover it, and that's why he didn't like to go to the school. Now, these are the central thing that is based on France. Now, next thing is that the probable question. From here, what kind of question you can expect, or if this question come, this type of answer, this type of value points you can put, so that your marks will be properly given. Why France reluctant or unwilling to attend the school? So this is an important question. It might be for 2 months. Why Franz didn't like to go to the school? The reason is that he often late to the school, he was afraid or scolded by the teacher and not the participant. So if you write all these 3-4 points, your answer will be covered. Now next, Franz temptation. Now what Franz did when Franz was not going to school, what Franz actually did. Next, he spent warm and bright day outside. Okay, so all of you can understand that most of the students in this age, they used to bunk the school, they used to miss the school, they used to roam here and here, and they like the freedom, everything, right? Enjoy chirping of the birds, wanted to watch the Prussian soldiers. Now, very important, Prussian soldiers means they are from the German soldiers and they occupied Alsace and Lorraine. Though France was enjoying the Prussian soldiers, marching, the Prussian soldiers, everything, France was enjoying, but it actually snatched France's own mother tongue. France realized all these things after the end of the last lesson. Now, question you can expect, how did France enjoy his days not attending the school? Right? So this question's answer, you can write all the 3 points. So you can write down all these things from here. You can note it down and remember that I am not explaining anything in a worst way. You have read that all these things. So this is a probable question, and how can we face in the examination? So I have just, because all of you are very much confused and sir, how to write the answers, what are the things that I should put in the answers. So this is the way that you can put the answers. These are the value points. So you can put all these things in the answer. Now, next, unusual in the school that day. Now, this is very important question. You can see all the 3 important questions from here. It was an unusual day. First of all, when Franz entered into the school on the last day, everything was silent. Unlike every day, it was not a busy day. It was not lots of scolding of the teacher, shouting of the students. Nothing was there. It was a very calm and quiet day. Okay. On usual days, there was a great bustle. Bustle means the howling of the students, as you expect when you are entering into the school. Opening and the closing of the desks, lesson repeated in unison. Teachers ruler rapping on the table, right? So this is the usual picture of every day. But what happened? That day was quiet. So the last lesson, when the last lesson was delivered by Abraham, it was a very quiet day, solemn, and Abraham spoke kindly. Now this day, Abraham had shown his character completely contradictory. He understood that he is going to leave the school and he is going to miss the school very much for the next day. At the same time, he realized that it was his fault also. He could not understand the others, because from the very next day, they will not be able to learn French language, right? And as a French teacher, Abraham would not have any opportunity to give anything to the students for the next day. Franz entered, but Abraham spoke kindly. Abraham dressed in a beautiful green coat, a frilled shirt, and black silk cap embroidered. Elders of the village, elders of the village were also present there. Right now, what kind of question will be there? Describe the day in the school as it was unusual. Unusual means the thing that is not as we are. Every day we are happening. Every day we are seeing this thing. So these are the typical day. This was a typical day. And why it was a typical day? Because Abraham is going to leave the school. Abraham is going to depart the school. The reason is that German people occupied the places, and due to that they installed the German languages. No place for learning the French. Though you are the French people, but from tomorrow onwards, the day onwards, you have to learn in French. You have to learn in German, because German had captured, and they will start their official language. Right. Why Abraham's behavior changed on the very day? So as you know that it was a very emotional day for Abraham, and Abraham was a very passionate teacher. He understood that from the next day onwards it will not be possible. So he was also sorry for that. Right. So you can understand the emotion of a teacher. So Abraham is not only a strict teacher. He wanted to generate the people, the French language inside of the people. So he was very sad at that point. Describe the dress of French teacher on the day of the last lesson. So from the three questions for 2 marks you can expect. So my dear students, please prepare all these 3-4 questions that you are seeing of here, and these are the value points so that you can put individually. You can pause the video and you can take them down. So after that, next. Now, this is a long question that we can expect from here, right? So if we are going all these long 4 questions, I hope that will be enough. So you can pause the video and note them down and you can prepare. So if you do all the 4 questions, I hope you will be safe, right? Abraham delivered a speech on the last day of the school, urging the village elders and students never to leave their native language. Remember, whatever the language that you might have Korea, you might have Bengali, you might have Hindi, you might have Punjabi, it's your identity, right? So whenever you are learning your language, you are also learning with your identity. You are very close to your tradition, your culture, right? So Abraham always try to make people believe that if you are not learning the French language, you are not learning your own nation. You are not knowing your own nation. So that's why Abraham always insisted his students, his village people, to learn the French language. Right? Overwhelmed of the feelings of M. Hamel, next question, evoke the passion or the patriotism in the reader. Write an article. So you know how to write an article. It is in your writing skill. So you just keep the format of the article. First of all, you write down the heading and then you write down the format, as you all know. And the title is already given, Patriotism in Youth. Remember, you are all the youth, and youths are the most important factor, the most important human resource for a country. So if the youth of the country are more powerful, are more conscious about the nation, then definitely your country, your nation, your society will develop day by day. In Hamel wanted to create that kind of generation, wanted to create that kind of people, right? So that his generation, his next society will be developed. Next, estimate M. Hamel is an example of true guide, teacher, and a sympathetic to his countrymen. I have already said that M. Hamel is a straight teacher, M. Hamel is a dedicated teacher, as well as he was very sympathetic, he was very much emotional in his character. So he is mixed up. Moreover, he is a human being. He loved his countrymen, he loved his people. Somehow the way he delivered, it might be not reachable to them, but he is a man of genius. When the things are, the next question, when the things are with us, we ignore. Really, it's true. Whenever you have the thing, you can recall from your ball poem, right? Whenever you have the things, whenever you have the ball poem, the ball, when the boy had a ball with him, he was not so careful. And after that, when the ball was lost, the boy regretted. So the same thing happened. The villagers, friends, they each and everybody they regretted. And why they regretted? They regretted that from the next day onwards, there will be no French class, there will be no M. Hamel, there will be no rapping of the ruler, and it will be a great loss for the school as well as for the society. Right? Next. Now, before we write the answer, you can keep in your mind all these important points. We can pause the video, you can see it. It is a story of a teacher, a patriot, emotional person connected to Salah. So already you know the story of Salah. In the duty versus responsibility, the duty versus patriotism, you can see in Salah's character. Emphasis on mother tongue. The most important in this text is the emphasis on mother tongue, right? And what is the mother tongue? French language. Crisis of lingual identity due to colonialism. You can understand that when Germany occupied Alsace and Lorraine, they replaced French language and they installed the German language. The same thing happened with India also. When the British people came and they replaced the regional languages and they emphasized on English language, right? Once there was a time that if you do not know English, if you do not write in English, speak in English, understand in English, you are not eligible to work in the government during the time of the British. So whenever the colonizers had gone to the different, they have done that one. Now, bold personality. Now, M. Hamel is very bold person. Though he was broken, but he was not destroyed. He understood that this was his last day, but still he did all these things very gently. A punctual and a dedication, villagers to be graded for their laws, learning of the mother tongue, essential to learn mother tongue to understand one's own culture and tradition, how culture is built and lost, right? So these are the important points. You can keep all these points in your mind, and while writing the answer, just, shuffle the points, that's all. There is nothing very tough regarding that. If you want to know more on this lesson, you can give a comment, and I'll be preparing it, right? So, c'est tout. Vive la France, merci bien. So, that's it. Long live France, and thank you so much. Goodbye.